3 words to describe the season: incredible, epic, and explosive.
I'm a very scary person.
Jeff should have called me, he should have texted me, he should have emailed me.
Well, how you gonna speak for me when I'm standing right here?
Well, how about we
You know what I'm
settle this?
saying?
How about we settle
We're
this?
gonna settle this.
You say when,
in
I'm
Vegas.
there.
Hey, this is Nick Caruso from TVLine. Check out all of my interviews from the Survivor 50 premiere coming at you now. Now, back in the early days of the game, you guys were famous, like super, super famous. Does this at all hark back to the early days?
This is what it used to be like. This is reminiscent of those early days. And so Jenna and I have talked about it a lot privately and personally.
I walked in here and I stopped Devens and Christians and I went, you stop. Look at this. Stop and look. Look at this. Stop talking, Christian, and look.
So last time out, you had a rough time on the edge of extinction. Why is now the right time for you to come back and kill this?
Now's the right time for me to come back in Survivor 50 because I am a continuous learner and I learned a lot of lessons in my 111 days playing Survivor, 25 on the edge of extinction. So I want to see if I have what it takes. All those lessons, I'm ready to put them into play.
Can you elaborate on that? What lessons did you learn that you're carrying with you in the new season?
I will not be having any dialogues with anyone. But I think I've learned that nothing is ever as good or bad as it seems on a given day in Survivor. It can switch on a dime, especially in the new era. So I am just so receptive to anything that could happen.
Now, I want to talk about bitter jurors. Your loss in Karong I'm still not over it. It's a travesty. Can a Survivor finalist do anything to kind of counteract a bitter jury?
I mean, Survivor is about managing everyone along the way. I do believe that you have to manage the depth of relationships, that if your relationships are too deep, people might be more hurt. It can be really, really hard in a game about backstabbing, but I think you have to be cognizant of how you're managing people along the way.
We are here with Q. Cancel Christmas. He's back on 50. What kind of energy are you bringing this season?
A lot of it. And I've started early, you know. We were supposed to do this yesterday, but guess what? I had other plans. I canceled the premiere, made a delay. We had a snowball fight instead. But I'm here to have fun.
Who won the snowball fight? Very important question.
Of course, my team.
Well, Tiffany said...
Don't listen to Tiffany. She lies.
My team won the snowball fight, although Q tried to cheat and say that his team won, but I nailed him like 4 times with a snowball, and Team Jeff Snopes came out on top.
Certified snow snatchers won the snowball fight because they had people from out of bounds throwing snow. It don't count.
Jeff would call that out as a no-no.
I mean, big no-no.
Big mistake?
Big mistake, yes.
Now, did you get a spot on the White Lotus season 4?
I don't know. Michael White haven't called me yet. He tells me how cute I am and how handsome I am. How about you put me on the television then, buddy?
Now, tell me a little bit about playing with some of these legends. You know, we've got Cirie, Colby. What was that like? Were you intimidated at all?
So I would be a big fat liar if I said I wasn't a little bit intimidated when I first hit the beach. But once you start having conversations, you realize, like, wait a minute, these are just people too. These are just players that love this game as much as I do. And ultimately, you figure out where the connections are. How are you like me and me like you? And how can we play this game together? Eventually, I got over it.
How does entering a highly anticipated season like season 50, what was your biggest challenge?
Oh, walking in with this huge bullseye I felt that I had on my back, and learning how to navigate that with players that are just as savvy as I am. How do I decrease that bullseye with players like Ozzy or Jonathan, Dee, Tiffany? I mean, the list goes on. Colby, Stephenie, like these are not your average run-of-the-mill players. So how am I going to work my magic on them?
Now, what were some of the new era players that you thought were the most impressive?
New era. So I was really impressed by Emily. I think she didn't get her just dues in her season. Okay. I thought Rizo, as funny as he may be, I thought he was cool. So I would say Emily Rizo.
We're here with financial analyst Emily Flippin. Can I please get your best, quickest finance tip?
Oh my gosh, index funds. Don't underestimate the power of an index fund. Sometimes simplest is best.
Now, in your first season, you had one hell of a story arc, 0 to 100, came out as a fan favorite. What can we expect from Emily in season 50?
well, hopefully I've learned from some of my previous mistakes from 45, but I still want to retain my character. I wanted to show that you can grow and change as a person, but you don't have to be a completely different person and cut off all of your sharp edges just to do well in the game. So hopefully you see a little bit of both, something in between the extreme Emily and the passive Emily that we saw in 45.
So, one of only 3 winners. Did you feel the heat of that at all from the beginning of the game?
Yes, absolutely. We're one of 3 winners on the island, of course, but I anticipated it.
What did you do to kind of minimize your target coming in as a winner?
Watch tonight.
Aw, man. All right, I will.
Going home, you don't know.
So you're also on the challenge, started a little bit challenge career. What's the major couple differences between the challenge and Survivor?
The challenge is very heavy on, a lot of these people have known each other for years, so it's very loyalty. It relies a lot on loyalty and previous relationships. For 50, it's kind of the same thing because now we're returning players and there's a lot of intertwined relationships. But I would say more loyalty on the challenge and more strategy on Survivor. I mean, I feel like that's kind of obvious though. I will say I think challenge is a lot more toxic than Survivor. Yeah.
What's the next reality show you're going to appear on?
Oh, I think I'm going to chill a little bit. I'd be down to do traders, but it just would have to align. I need to be at home for a little bit.
Would you want to be a faithful or a traitor?
No, put me as a traitor. But here's the thing, put me as a traitor because people are going to think I'm a traitor anyway. Might as well play a traitor game.
Be the gamer.
Right. I hear the same thing. Whenever gamers go on traitor, it's like hard because you have a perception of us as players, which I agree we are gamers because we love the game, but that doesn't mean you're a traitor.
So I saw this clip on Instagram. You wrestling Q, was it?
Oh yeah, he's right there.
Who won?
I'll tell you who won. I beat Q like a drum. And I guarantee you he does not want a rematch. I guarantee you that guy doesn't want nothing from me.
Well, how you going to speak for me when I'm standing right here?
Well, how about we settle this? How about we settle this?
We're going to settle this.
You say when, I'm
Vegas,
there.
In Vegas.
What day?
You know what day we're going to Vegas?
All right.
March 6th through the 8th. It's my birthday. I'm going to eat cake.
Hey, just because it's your birthday, the only present
you're
going to get is you laying on the ground.
You soft as cake. You sweet as cake.
And
you going to get it.
I'm the strongest out of all 3.
Kamilla, how are you? Welcome to the 50 carpet. I heard you're moving to New York. I heard over to my right. Is this because you wanted to move closer to Kyle?
Yes, it's because I want to move closer to Kyle. Actually, we were looking at an apartment that was just down the street. I'm like, I cannot live this close to him. I'm going to live in a different borough.
Now, I really love watching you guys rib each other on social media. It's hilarious. I want you to say a couple nice things about your boy Kyle.
He's honestly such a great friend. Also, his wife is amazing, Maggie. I love her too. I hate that he's getting this footage. I hate that he's going to see this.
What are your true feelings about Kamilla?
Yeah, Camilla's a sister to me. I love her with all my heart, even though she sucks sometimes. but she's the homie. I've never met anybody who thinks exactly like me. We have the same brain, and I think it served us well in 48, and you'll have to see on 50.
Now, when we talked in Fiji, you said that you wish you asked Jeff if Kyle was going because you would not have come. I want to know, are you doubling down on that, or would you have come anyways?
I'm sorry, but people can't detect, people don't understand my sense of humor, and people thought I was actually entitled and demanded that Jeff disclose that to me. That is absolutely ridiculous. Of course I demanded that. Why did people think that was a joke? Yes, Jeff should have called me, he should have texted me, he should have emailed me, he should have messaged me on all of the video games I played, hit up my Nintendo Switch Online account. Of course Jeff should have told me, in case you guys can't tell, I wasn't being serious. Why would anyone decline showing up on 50? It's such an honor.
What was it like playing with the legends? Were you intimidated? What was going on in your mind?
Honestly, I was pretty excited, especially since, I don't know if you guys know, Coach is my favorite player of all time. Coach ends up on the same tribe as me, so that was really fun.
Going out into season 50, you were holding a bit of a secret. You just had a baby a couple weeks before you got out there. How hard was that to leave your family during that time?
Oh, it was very hard, but at the same time, it was a good secret motivation to keep you focused, because there's so many things that can enter your head as your motivations of why you're here. Yes, you want to win, that's clear, but when all kinds of nonsense gets in your head, look at this guy. Baby number 2's with him. Anyway, It focuses you so you don't lose focus what you need to set a good example for him. And I'm so grateful I had that, as hard as it was to leave.
So we're here with Angelina. David versus Goliath good to see you too, was such a standout season. I'm wondering, are you entering 50 as a Goliath, or how are you entering and approaching this game?
Look, once you're a Goliath, you only enter all the rooms that you're in as a Goliath. But I honestly think for all these returners, like all of us are coming in, we're coming in hot, we're coming in strong, confident. But honestly, all of us have a little bit of David in us too. A lot of us have chips on our shoulders. A lot of us have unfinished business. And so I think for me, always operating as a Goliath, but humbled to know that like my chip is that I got no votes last time and I want to do better.
So what can we expect? You were very energetic, a little chaotic. You were a character on the island. What can we expect from you out of 50?
Those are things that I was really trying to tamp down going into 50. And I'll just say that like sometimes it's really hard to go against your nature.
Okay.
Maybe expect a little more of the same.
Now, you're not really old school, but you're not the new era. How did you, as a middle school type of player, fit into this group?
Well, as the father of a middle schooler, I was like, this is perfect for me. I think it's a good place to be. I think it's a good place to be because everyone is thinking old school, new school, even if they were going, I want to work with someone from the other school. It's so firm. Whereas if you're kind of in the middle there, like that's usually where you want to be in Survivor. So I felt real good about that at the start.
We're here with Genevieve, the social media mogul now, joining Instagram. Tell me a little bit.
True, a dream come true. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your hesitation of joining social media and how hard is it to deal with the opinions that come from being watched on TV?
I am very sensitive and any criticism hurts my feelings. So social media is a place full of criticism and when I drink a whole bottle of rosé and I feel bad about myself, I don't blame the rosé. So I feel like when I go on social media and it makes me feel bad about myself, I shouldn't blame social media, I should blame myself but I'm not ready to take accountability. So let's blame social media, even though I'm on it now. So women are full of contradictions, aren't they?
Now I'm going to keep it 100 here. When I talked to the rest of the cast in pregame in Fiji, everyone said they really liked you, but they were afraid of you. Thoughts on that?
I'm a very scary person.
You seem it.
I get it. I get why they would be. But they should be too, because I think all is fair in love and war and Survivor, and I go to win so that I can try and bring the check home to Winnipeg and my family,
What Taylor Swift song or era best describes the gameplay from season 50?
I think season 50, probably a mix. I'll just say, I think it's reputation. I think with returning players, reputation's a big theme. It's something you bring into the game with you. It's something that you want to protect. It's something that you want to improve. It's all about legacy and putting your stamp on the game. So there we go.
Did you change anything from 49 to 50? What did you most want to work on?
Yeah, my biggest thing was the social game going into 50 because I realized during 49 my social game might not be as good as I think it is, and there's people who place a lot of importance on it. So going into 50, my biggest thing was I need to memorize everybody's brothers, moms, dads, uncles' names and try to keep that in mind in case I get to the final 3 again.
Now, a lot of people compare you. They say you kind of give off Parvati vibes. How do you feel about that?
I love it. I grew up watching Parvati. I love Parvati as a fan, and I love her as a player, too. But I think that comparison does have its merits. I think we have similar mannerisms. I think she has a way better social game than I will ever have. So it's cool to be mentioned in the same sentence as her or in the same pool as her. I think we do have some things that are similar, but also I don't hold a candle to her.
Now, if season 49 was cinema, what is season 50?
I'm going to keep it in that same realm, and instead of cinema, it's going to be absolute cinema. Season 50 is going to be one for the books, and I mean that.
Love it. Now, you only had a couple days, maybe a little more than a week in between seasons. Sounds pretty intense. How did you mentally and physically prepare for that?
So there was no physical preparation, to be honest. I lost 20 pounds in season 49, and I'm already a pretty skinny guy. So with my fast metabolism, I wasn't gaining that 20 pounds back. So I just kind of accepted defeat in the sense of like, I'm going to Survivor 50, a shell of myself. But mentally, I never really left Fiji. I came home, said hi to my friends and family, my girlfriend, but I never left the game. I left Survivor 49 on day 25, and I felt like day 1 of Survivor 50, I was still on day 25. So my mental capacity was at an all-time high because I was ready to make a name for myself with all these legends.
Now season 50 is in the hands of the fans. We all got to vote on a bunch of categories. Fire making was one of them. You lost the fire making challenge. So I'm wondering, did you practice in that 1 week time you had at home?
You know, this might be a little bit cocky here. I will say it wasn't that I wasn't good at fire. I just wasn't good under the bright lights. Savannah had that clutch factor, and she ultimately got the spark before me. But to answer your question, no, I didn't practice fire just because I didn't think fire is what, I mean, obviously fire is what cost me, but I felt confident on my fire skills. If there was one thing I should have practiced, which I didn't, was puzzles, because everybody knows my puzzle ability. And I will do a little teaser. I didn't practice puzzles for Survivor 50, so we'll see how it goes.
So it's been a while since we've seen you on our TV screens. How much has the game changed over time since you last played?
In the biggest way, it's probably the compressed format, right? Because you're forced to make moves at such a rapid pace and adjust, adapt so much quicker than you used to be able. You used to buy yourself some time, and we used to talk about having security in the framework of 3 days, which makes up an episode, right? Then the last time or two I played, it became a day. Well, now in the new era and on season 50, your security is measured in moments. Literally, you're having to adapt and adjust moment to moment because the game is advancing so quickly. Now, that can either be intimidating or for an old dinosaur like me, you find younger generation players that understand the game infinitely better than I do, and you link up with them and you start leaning on them.
So I want to ask you, your oldest 2 daughters played a big part in the original season storyline. What do they think about seeing Mom on TV again today?
I don't know if this is good or bad, but they're so busy doing their own thing that I don't know if they could care. Like, one just got married and the other one's in law school. So she's like, great, Mom, I'll come watch it in that 30 minutes that I have each week from doing all of my homework. I think they're very proud. I think they remember when I went back to All-Stars. So they always tell me that they remember me leaving. They remember me coming back. They were at our finale in New York. Rupert came and stayed with us after, so they had a very big participation in 8, so I think they feel invested in my Survivor journey.
How was it playing with the new era kids? Who taught who more?
Oh, they taught me more, which I was open to, and I knew I'd have to be, because everything has changed, especially like journeys and hidden immunity idols. I never played with those. So yes, I was absolutely listening and waiting for all of their advice on that. But of course, the longevity, I have a lot of world experience of listening to people. I've had 2 survivors, so I understand how you have to cut and when you have to be the trusted friend. So I listen to them, absolutely, but I hope that they learned a little bit from me. Maybe sassy. That's what they're missing, Nick. In all of these now, they're very good people. They're awesome. I want to go have a beer with them, but they're just not sassy. Like, bring that back.
Okay, so it's been a while since we've last seen you. You're a mom now. Has that changed your approach to the game at all?
Yes, it has. First and foremost, I want to try not to get hurt because I do have 3 kids I have to go home to. And I don't want to embarrass them or myself by injuring myself and having to leave the show. And also just, I want to make them proud, like they don't think mom's that cool. They just think I'm mom. So I'm like, I want to get out there. I still want to be the badass I once was. And I want to make them proud.
I mean, you've popped a shoulder before and you just popped it back.
Right, so the shoulder came out, I popped it back in. I did have to have shoulder surgery after that, though. That was a nightmare, and it's still not right. Like, I can't throw good. But, I'm out there and I'm doing some of these challenges, and I'm like, I better go far in this or at least win it, because I'm hearing my son going, come on, Mom, that's so easy. You can do that.
What was it like playing with some of these new era kids?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, there's times, where I'm like, is this person serious? Are they really just gonna lay in the shelter all day? Are they gonna get up and crack a coconut? What's going on here? Let's do some work around here. Come on. Me and Colby are like the workhorses, old school people. But it was fun. Like, they know the game inside and out. Like, they study the game. Whereas we're more like, let's form an alliance, let's work hard, let's do great in challenges, and go to the end.
Hey, we're here with Ozzy at the Survivor 50 premiere. Ozzy, 5th time out on the island. What is Ozzy 5.0 gonna look like?
Oh man, well, 5th time's a charm. Look, The way I've played in the past, I know how to fish, I know how to climb trees, I know how to do challenges, but do I know how to make friends? Do I know how to make alliances? Do I know how to make connections? Do I know how to be strategic? I guess you guys are going to have to wait and see.
Okay, yeah, in our pre-interview out in Fiji, that's what you told me. You wanted to work on your social game. How are you feeling about it? Do you feel good about your performance?
All in all, I'm an older man, I'm wiser, and I think I'm a little more interested in connecting than I ever have been before.
Now, how about these younger cats from the new era coming up? Did you teach them a lot of things, or did they teach you more things?
There's definitely a lot of moments where, I'll be honest, some of the survival skills that these new players have leave something to be desired. So, teaching people how to open a coconut properly, teaching people how to catch fish properly, those are things that I bring to the table, and I think that my skills are appreciated.
Now, one thing we talked about out there too is this rivalry with Coach, or former rival, I should say. What can we expect that is going to happen from season 50?
We're about to watch the premiere, and in the first quarter of the premiere, you're going to see how Coach and I's relationship has evolved, how it's changing, and how it's changed.
Last question, 3 words to describe Survivor 50.
Survivor 50 is chaotic, it is timeless, and it's fun.
Really freaking good.
Celebration. I think I'm obligated to say that as a celebration of this.
I think you are.
Reunion. And I don't know, savage maybe? We'll see. I don't know.
Okay, I'd say unpredictable, dramatic, and nostalgic.
Chaotic, confusing, hilarious.
Intriguing. I would say complicated. And then I would say powerful.
I shouldn't swear, right? No.
We'll bleep it.
My mom watched this, and she said I swore too much in the rest of my interviews. So, to which I tell her it was all AI.
Joyful, terrifying, different.
Survivor 50 in 3 words: intense, narratives, and fun.
Chaotic, exuberant, joyful.
Monumental, cutthroat, and unreal.
50 in 3 words is wild, epic, and crazy.
How would you describe the season in 3 words?
Absolutely freaking nuts.
How about a phrase?
Hit me.
How about buckle up, don't blink, people going home faster than you think?